So I want to present you for the people in Israel that you're the founder of TAT, Tapas acupressure technique, and that you are the founder of it since 1993. It's already a long time, but you have been over all the world to give workshops, and you have given a lot of people relief and healing, because you taught a lot of people. And I appreciate it very much how you have given this to the world. And I want to present you to Israel, and I'm very proud that in Israel we have a good group of people working already as professionals that because of you started to change their lives already, also in their families. You did a lot. And yesterday I said TAT is we need to find another word. Tapas acupressure technique is not a technique.
Say what you mean by that, would you?
It's such an easy healing process that is impossible to tell that it is a technique. It is to bring the person out of his locked-in problems, that he comes out and finds his own self and clean self, and he finds himself his diamond, what he really is from his soul. And that's the beauty, because there is no word for, another word for technique. But it's not a technique. And if people want to learn it in a process of certification, they don't learn just a technique. They learn a lot more. They learn something for life, for their own family, for their own being, and for the clients that they will meet in their lives, and they come to them and can give them relief and healing.
What are some of the things people learn besides just what's called the technique in the certification program?
In certification program, they learn to be themselves. They learn to come to themselves and who they really are. And when they found out, or not only found out, when they clean themselves out from all the baggage they have from the past, they are starting to become full for their own family, for the husband, for the children. And then, when they are not a normal, only a full person, they get this fullness to the client. This client that comes, because in the professional, in the certification program, we are going to look for the real professional who can sit with the client and listen to the client. Because so many people do all kind of healing modalities, but wherever you look, listening and being present is not a big thing in the world. And with the certification program, we get to the point that people really are going to be 100% themselves, and when they're connecting with the client, they give the client the space to grow, to heal, and to become themselves. What can you add from the certification program?
You've said the most important things. I can add that when people do the certification program, they go on their own spiritual or inner journey. Not necessarily spiritual, but the journey of becoming more of who they are, like you said. It's required.
Yeah.
And it's required that people work on themselves and also with clients. So they're deepening in both ways as they're going through the program. And then they're also learning how to work with someone if it looks like the person isn't getting anywhere. What do they do? Or if they have a client that has a complicated situation where they become so fearful, it's almost like they leave. Or a person who has different parts of themselves that are saying, go ahead and heal, and another part saying, no, don't do that, it's not safe. So there are different complex situations, or situations where a person doesn't even know what happened, but they want to heal something. So there are ways that people learn how to do that in a completely non-interfering way as the professional. Also, as the professional, they're learning how to help that person become more and more able to be who they are in all their relationships, like you said, their family, their work, whatever it is that's really important for them.
What would you say for the certification program for Israel is important? That Israel has a certification program that connects with TAT Live with you.
That's right.
What do you think is the real value for them to do that?
And that they are going to get the real thing. They're not going to get something that they read on the internet or one video they watched. They're going to be connected with me and also connected with our community. There's a real value and a real wealth in our community of professionals that any professional coming in connects with. They get the support of my experience of so many years and the subtle way of really connecting with someone in a non-interfering, present way. They get a whole life ahead, and while they're going through it, of continually growing within. And that's something that's a real treasure.
But now, when we connected with Israel, when we have Hebrew speakers, and they say, we in Israel, we don't need America, we don't need Tapas, we here in Israel, we can handle these things, we don't need all that. What would you say about that?
I'd say that being in contact with this community and with me is a value. It's a value because my vision and my understanding of what TAT is will constantly be communicated to them, and they'll refine their understanding as the months and years go by.
Yes.
Is that your experience?
Yes, that's. I am now, I think, 11 years doing TAT from 2000. And I've noticed over the years I have developed, and I think I know a little bit TAT.
I do too. How many clients? You go ahead.
And I think all those years, I think I really developed for my family, for my life, for myself, for my clients that I see, the students that I teach, that I more and more can be, because I'm connected with you, and always we try to fine-tune at what TAT is, that they get the best.
Mm-hmm.
Because when people learn something, what I've seen in Israel, they learn something and they say, oh, I know it. Is there something new to learn? I know it already. It's the same thing, the same sentences, I know it already. Those people die. They die, and they cannot fine-tune their tools, even as a tool, the TAT, what they're using.
What do you mean that they die?
They die because it gets duller and duller. And on a certain point, they get stuck because they cannot handle certain things anymore. Because they did everything and that, and comes a new client in, and what to do now with this client? They did that and that and that already. But by fine-tuning in with you and the things that we try to give the community in Israel, we can always find where we need to be more precise. And if there are questions, we can ask you. And hopefully in the future we'll also have webinars again, and then people can be connected with you totally directly.
Mm-hmm.